Okay, so this is a karyotype. What is this? Well, it's a big organized chart of somebody's DNA, somebody's chromosomes. So you can see there are 46 chromosomes here, 23 pairs. It goes up to 22. And then the 23rd pair is the X and Y. So you can see they're kind of organized by, you can see they look kind of like number 13 chromosomes. They look kind of similar. Number 15, they look same shape, same kind of like light and dark spots, the markings. So that's what they are. They're chromosomes that carry the same thing. So maybe say this was the eye color chromosome, or it had the eye color gene on it. One of them, why do you have two of them? Well, one of them came from mom and one of them came from dad. So you have two of each kind of chromosome. You have two that have like the eye color. This is trisomy 21. This is where the chromosome that people have an extra one if they have Down syndrome. So that's kind of like the Down syndrome chromosome. So there's all different chromosomes, and you have one from mom and one from dad. And this can be used to identify diseases. So now when a mother is pregnant, they can take a blood sample and they can make this karyotype and say like, oh, this baby's going to have Down syndrome. And they can also, what's this right here? An X and a Y chromosome. So that would be a baby boy, right? If it were two X's, whoops, that would be a baby girl. So there's lots of things you can figure out by just making a big organized chart of someone's chromosome. And we call that big organized chart a karyotype. Okay, so how do you make a karyotype? Well, you need a sample, so you can take a little bit of blood from someone's finger, or you could even, this is a procedure, you could stick a huge needle into the pregnant woman's belly and get a sample of the amniotic fluid. That's called amniocentesis. So you take that blood and you put it in a centrifuge and you spin it to sort it out, and then you get these chromosome looking things. You look at it under a microscope. It kind of looks like this, and go through. They actually would like kind of take a picture of that and then maybe like cut out these little chromosome pictures and organize it into that chart that you see. So it's basically take a sample, find it under the microscope, take a picture, and then organize those chromosomes out so you can look at, oh, this person has an extra 21st chromosome, they have Down syndrome. Or, oh, this person has an X and a Y chromosome, it's going to be a boy. All right, so who cares about a karyotype? What can you use it for? Well, you can diagnose disease, as I said before. So all these, every chromosome in the body is called an autosome or a body chromosome. Just these last two, this 23rd pair, that's for telling if you are having a boy or a girl. So if you have XX, that's a girl. If you have XY, that's a boy. So this person has an X and a Y, so it is going to be a beautiful little baby boy. And they also have 3 of the 21st chromosome. That's called trisomy 21, meaning you have 3 21st chromosomes, and that baby is going to have Down syndrome. And you can tell by that kind of typical facial features of someone with Down syndrome. All right, there are other trisomy diseases. This is Patau syndrome. So the doctor or scientist would find all these pairs of chromosomes, and they would say, hey, there are 3 of the 13th chromosome. So this person has trisomy 13 instead of trisomy 21. They have 3 of the 13th chromosome. So that's a different disease called Patau syndrome, and it can be diagnosed using this karyotype. There's a little man behind me carrying his markers. There are other trisomy diseases, but they are much more rare. And some of them would be so damaging that that baby would never even be born because it would be so unhealthy. All right, so we can use karyotypes to identify genetic diseases. The other thing is that there are usually genetic problems in cancer cells. So that's another thing that these could be used for. You could take a sample of a tumor that you might have found, because you may say, well, is this tumor just a little growth and it's fine? Or is it a cancerous one? So they would take a sample. This looks a little bit different, but same idea. This is a sample, a karyotype of someone's chromosomes, and they say, oh, this one doesn't look so good. It looks like there is an abnormality in that chromosome or that DNA, and that can be a way to diagnose cancer. So again, this is a karyotype. It's an organized chart of all of someone's 23 pairs of chromosomes. Each of their pairs, one of the chromosomes came from mom and one of them came from dad, and they all have genes. So everybody, like you have 2 genes for eye color, 2 genes for